Hello and welcome to Troy's Amateur Kitchens, and today I'm going to be making a goat's cheese pizza. Now, the reason why I make my own goat's cheese pizzas is because there just generally isn't such thing as a decent goat's cheese pizza from the shop, so I make them myself, and believe you me, they taste pretty darn good. Now, of course, I make my own base because how can you make a homemade pizza without making your own base? Now, my recommendations of making your own base, if you've never made one before, watch a couple of YouTube videos before making one and come up with your own technique of making a pizza base. When I learned how to make a pizza base, I found out it was more of a technique rather than a skill. It was more of a technique. It was something I rather got used to. The first couple of times I made a pizza base, I made a hell of a mess, and the more I made it, the less mess I made and the easier it become. As you can see, I just do a sort of pounding and moulding technique. Now, you're going to want to preheat your oven to about 50 degrees. That would be about gas mark 2 or 3 if you're using a gas oven. And you're going to want to use 375 grams of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of caster sugar, and 7 grams of yeast. I use 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 225 ml of warm water. I just half boil the kettle because it's just the easiest way, and I usually make it, well, just warm enough so you know it's warmer than your body skin, just. I put a bit of olive oil on the baking tray and spread it around with the back of a spoon to stop the base sticking to the baking tray whilst you've got it in the oven. Here's a little cleaning shortcut for you all. I like to open a cupboard door, put the bin underneath the worktop and wipe all the flour straight into the bin. Lovely, nice, quick and easy. Whilst preparing the top of the pizza, the ingredient of the top pizza, you put your base in the oven at 50 degrees or gas mark 3, roughly gas mark 3 or 2. Let it warm your base up, and basically the texture on the top of the base you're looking for, you want it to go just slightly hard on the top but still squidgy in the middle. The reason why you do this is that when it comes to actually cooking your pizza, you don't end up with a raw base and a cooked top. On this pizza, I'm using ham, pineapple, onions and sweet corn. Lovely. Obviously, if you don't like those ingredients, you're more than welcome to use any other ingredient you would like to use on your pizza. Obviously, everybody likes their pizzas differently. When you get your base out, make sure you close the oven and now preheat it to about 200 degrees if you're using a electric oven, and I think it's about 6 or 7 gas mark on a gas oven. When you pull your pizza base out, don't worry about the dough rising a little bit because that's what the yeast basically does. As you put your tomato puree on, you sort of use it as a lube to carry on moulding your pizza base into the general base you want your pizza base to be with the back of the spoon. I use a normal block of goat cheese, and I use another goat cheese which is called soft goat cheese, which is basically, well, soft cheese. The reason why I use the soft cheese as well is because it just gives it that better texture, and it, well, stops it falling off the top of the pizza base. I like to apply the cheese on first, a little bit of cheese on first, not too much, and basically I layer the cheese within the ingredients whilst you build the pizza base up. In what order you put everything on the top, basically the stuff that takes the least time to cook goes on the bottom, and the things that take the longest to cook go on the top. That's the way I've always understood it. So onions would take longer to cook than, say, pineapple, so the pineapple would go in first, followed by the onions. Of course, everybody's got different methods of cooking. I put it in the oven at about 200 degrees. If you've got a gas cooker, it'll be about gas mark 6 or 7. I like to leave it in the oven for about 20 minutes, but after about 10-15 minutes, I just keep an eye on it. I normally go on by the way it looks to how I know if it's cooked or not, rather than how long it's been in the oven, because things just take longer than others to cook, and obviously it being a homemade pizza, they're all going to be different every time you make them. Every homemade pizza I make basically looks a bit different. If you want the ingredients to the base, all the ingredients will be in the description of the video, and I hope you enjoyed my goat cheese pizza video. Well, there's my famous pizza, and that's how I make my pizzas, ladies and gentlemen. I will give you one warning though. I'll give it a couple of minutes to cool down because it's rather hot. But yeah, this is how I make my goat's cheese pizza. Now, if you're asking why I don't just buy a goat's cheese pizza from the shop, well, the answer is there isn't such thing as a decent goat's cheese pizza from the shop. You can't find them anywhere. So I make them myself, and I've got to admit, since I've been making these, oh, they taste lovely. And anyway, hope you all enjoyed the videos, ladies and gentlemen. And if this one does well, I might do another cooking video in the future.